Hello everyone, I'm so happy that you're here, especially because I'm already recording this for the third time. I had some technical issues and apparently only recorded like two of the five piles, and then I kept getting interrupted. So let's hope this one will work. We have pile number 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. You can now pick the pile that you'd like. Take all the time you need, pause the video if you need to. You can, if that helps you, close your eyes, concentrate on the question. We're gonna do a big card reading on who you were in your previous lifetime, so concentrate on that. Ask who you were in your previous lifetime and channel your energy. If you open your eyes, maybe you will have a better picture of which pile appeals to you the most. You can also choose by the shells over the cards. This is number 1. Then we have number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. Now, if you've chosen your pile, you can go in the description or into the comment section below, where I will have put the timestamps, and you can choose the one of your pile, and I will wait for you in your reading. See you there. Hello pile number 1, this is your reading about who you were in your previous lifetime. Let's begin right away. So we will start out with the tarot cards, and we have the 5 of Cups, the King of Wands, and then the 9 of Cups. Okay, so right away we have a lot of water energy here. So you might have been a water sign, which is Pisces, Cancer or Scorpio. Like, yeah, with all the cups, that's like majorly water energy. And I think it's really interesting because these cards look quite clear to me. Basically, you were one of those people who went through a really tough time in their life and then grew really strong and successful as a result. You know, there is a quote by C.S. Lewis, I think, that says, "Hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny." Destiny, right? I think so. And you were one of those people. And I think what you faced early in your life was a kind of loss. We can see that in the 5 of Cups. We have 3 cups over here that were spilled, and the person in their grief is facing these lost contents of the cups. And we have a red liquid here, which kind of reminds me of blood. So I think you might have lost maybe more than one family member or someone who was really, really important to you early on in your life. Someone important. And there was a period in your previous life in which the grief about that almost consumed you. But the 5 of Cups is also a reminder that not everything's lost. We still have 2 cups over here. They're still standing upright. And there's basically something left to work with. And what I think you did in your previous life was take those 2 cups and move on with them. You were able to accept what happened to you and see the positive things that were left in the situation and move on. Okay, we can see the strength that you were able to gather from this whole ordeal in the King of Wands. The Wands are all about action, about not only wanting something but also deciding to do it. But the King of Wands already sits on his throne, and he has taken every action necessary to get there. Now he can make things happen just like that. So I think this previous lifetime of yours is one where you developed a really powerful manifestation skill. You learned from the bad things that happened to you, upon that improved yourself so much that things then started happening for you. And you didn't give up when you faced those hardships, but you used them as a motivation to make sure that something like that would never happen to you again, or maybe also to make the people that you lost here proud and to live a life that they would have wanted you to live. And naturally, with completing this manifestation skill, you became really popular and your status was leveled up. And then with the Nine of Cups too, we can see that your wishes in this lifetime came true. This is a wish fulfillment card, which makes sense if you were really good at manifesting things. And also important to see is that you were content and satisfied with yourself. You really managed to find that emotional balance where you didn't need anyone else, but you could find happiness within yourself. See how he's sitting alone, but he still kind of has this satisfied smirk going on. Yeah, that was you in your previous lifetime. Okay, let's have a look at the oracle cards. We have bring love into the situation, new moon in Aquarius. Aquarius is about progression, so I get the feeling that this life we are looking at took place quite recently, probably after the Age of Enlightenment, so maybe like the 19th or 20th century. This card once again is about moving on. So I feel like once you parted with your grief here, you didn't look back anymore. And what's also interesting is that this card, like the Nine of Cups over here, suggests that you were independent in figuring out your life without giving the responsibility to others. And you also did so in a loving way. Obviously, bring love into the situation is about seeing things with love and being, in general, more kind and seeing things through the eyes of love. I feel this positivity and love is what we saw here in the Two of Cups that are still upright. In the Two Cups, not the Two of Cups, the Two Cups that are still standing upright in the Five of Cups card. Next up is love. Wow, so much love going on. I think this is confirming what I just said. You learn to see the love that flows through everything and everyone. And in that way you were able to experience love through others as well. And we have the number 5 here, again, like in the Five of Cups as well. So I think this way of letting positivity into your life and letting yourself see love as the ruling force was you adapting to this situation in order to keep moving. And lastly, the 7 Star Sisters. Birthing creations, tapestry of life, expression. Yeah, I do get the feeling that the success and power you reached in this lifetime over here was from being an artist and freely expressing yourself. And manifestation and creation are two very, very similar things. So I think your creativity, that is part of your nature, helped you to achieve that skill as well. And that was a big part of you being able to become so successful and actually manifest the things that you wanted to in life. So overall, I think that you already lived a life in which you were very close to achieving or even achieved full enlightenment. This was the lifetime in which you learned to manifest and in which you learned about love. as the energy that the universe runs on. And I'm sure that even if you haven't quite understood those things in your current lifetime right now, these things will sound familiar and resonate with you. These may be things that you have a fundamental understanding for, even if you're not sure where it comes from. And other people might perceive you as a really wise person, and they might call you an old soul because of that. Because of that underlying understanding of the universe. Okay, pile number 1. This was it for your reading about who you were in your previous lifetime. If you had fun, were entertained, or that reading resonated with you in any way, shape or form, please let me know in the comments. Leave a like and subscribe if you want to see other readings from me. I would really appreciate it, and then I will see you in my next reading. Bye bye. Hello, pile number 2, and welcome to your reading about who you were in your previous lifetime. Let's get right started and have a look at the tarot cards first. Okay, we have the 5 of Wands. Then we have Judgment in reverse. And for the 3rd card, we have the 7 of Swords. Okay. Overall, I can say that this life we are looking at was very troublesome and shaped by conflict. And here in the 5 of Wands, we see an actual conflict with other people. I feel like you were probably alive during a time of war where you had to fight. But I also think that you thought that what you were fighting for was the right thing, or that you were on the right side, and you were really convinced that the new things and the new order that would arise after war, or after that war specifically, would be something good and great, and something that was worth fighting for. Yeah. Okay, and in combination with the Judgment card in reverse, I think it's really interesting because upright it would represent that like time of a new conscience, almost the new and better world you were hoping for here, but it's in reverse. So what this is telling me is that this transformation you were fighting for didn't happen, at least not on the scale you would have wanted it to. And I definitely get the feeling that you lived to see the end of the fight, of the war, with the Judgment card, but there wasn't this new conscience that was established because there were too many people who didn't believe in it and who maybe fought for their personal gain instead of really public welfare, you could say, I guess. And there was much more resistance against this new order than you realized. And you had to learn that the end of the fight doesn't mean that all the issues people fight about are suddenly resolved too. You know, when a war is won, the opponent and especially their ideology doesn't just disappear, and that's what you had to learn. So yeah, I don't know, the 7 of Swords always gives me major like Slytherin sneaky vibes, I guess because he is sneaking. But I think when you realized that this transformation was probably not gonna happen in this lifetime, you resorted to being this kind of cunning person who was still trying to bring forward the ideology that you stood for, but not in an open way anymore, more like in secret. And I'm kind of getting spy vibes, something like that, like if you couldn't have this new happy world that you wished for, at least you were going to expose the people who were still holding onto those, in your eyes, evil or bad beliefs. So you went from this quite pure morality and group dynamic to being someone who is basically ready to risk it all or letting some really ambiguous things slip, and operating on your own. Let's move on to the oracle cards. Here we have your hard work is paying off. New moon in Capricorn. Alright. This gives me the feeling that you were someone who had this very strong belief that whatever you were going to put your mind to, if you just work hard enough, you can achieve it, you know, like that kind of belief. Many people have that. But this situation was something where not only you were involved, but so many other people, that it was maybe a bit too big for you. And then you moved on to a new profession because you couldn't really achieve what you wanted here. And this belief or belief system of yours was kind of shaken up because of what happened during this time, and that's why it changed you so much. Let's look at the next card for clarification. The smoky mirror. This is fitting. This card is about kind of the dark side of the human psyche. And I think that you just weren't ready to understand why and how this strong belief of yours was overthrown. And you didn't accept that for yourself. You couldn't accept that for yourself. You weren't really in the situation or in the mindset where you could accept that. And yeah, it shows again, this is really why you made that drastic turn from here to here. As the last card, we have the Cosmic Heart. Devotion and potency make your life a moving prayer. I think that this is also something behind the smoke in the mirror. You felt like this potency of yours was kind of extenuated, and you forgot about how to make your life a moving prayer and how to really find back to that old mindset you were coming from originally, because you were someone who really had a strong will beforehand, or not, maybe not a strong will, but really just this strong belief system, and not even like a negative belief system. This was quite positive, so that kind of was disappearing for you behind that smoke. So I think in this lifetime overall, the focus for you was to make the experience that you can't bear pain, the pain of the whole world on your shoulders, on your own, and come out of it unscathed. And I think that now in this lifetime you could be someone who gets really emotional when you are confronted with unfairness in the world, like war, for example, and you might feel really helpless when you are confronted with those situations, because you feel like you can't do anything, and you feel like maybe no one can do anything, because that's an experience you have made in your previous lifetime. Okay, pile number 2, this is it for your reading about who you were in your previous lifetime. If you were in any way entertained, or if you resonated with this reading, let me know in the comments below. Leave a like and subscribe if you want to see other readings from me. I'd really appreciate it. And I will see you next time. Bye bye. Hello, pile number 3. This is your reading about who you were in your previous lifetime. And I'd say let's get right started. And we will have a look at the oracle cards, at the tarot cards first. And we have the Ace of Swords, the High Priestess, and 10 of Cups in reverse. Okay. It's funny because I already talked about it in another pile, but the Ace of Swords makes me think that you were alive during the Age of Enlightenment, so in the 18th or 19th century. We have the sparks right here over the hand around the sword, and also those rays behind the hand. So in general, the Ace of Swords stands for the truth and for justice, and it transcends the realm of man-made power by piercing through the crown up here. So I think that this is the period where we can place this life of yours we're looking at. And just like the Ace of Swords can also be read as calm and quiet, we have the High Priestess that gives the same energy. I think you were alive either somewhere peaceful, or even if it wasn't peaceful all the time, you managed to keep that healthy balance in which you didn't let it drive you crazy, but you really kept your cool. And I also get the feeling that you were probably quite a spiritual person, but you practiced your spirituality for yourself and not for others, either because you didn't have to, or because you didn't have the right words. Maybe it just wasn't necessary at the time. But I think in this lifetime, on a spiritual level, you were very much on par with like your higher self. Yeah. And then the Ten of Cups in reverse. I think that despite all this, in this lifetime you didn't have a big group of people around you. And you didn't find your happiness in family or anything like that. I think that having relationships with other people was difficult for you. Maybe because you were so clear and on such a high level in your mind that you couldn't really warm up to people who were not like this. So in this lifetime it was not your goal to have this perfect family with a little house and everything is love, peace and harmony in that sense. You didn't really need that. Okay, when we look at the oracle cards, we have Hold Your Vision, the Fixed Moon, and the fixed signs are usually the ones said to be stubborn, like Leo or Taurus, for example. And I think in this case it means that in this previous lifetime you were very firm and set where you were. It's almost like this unmoving, observant energy that's kind of goes hand in hand with the High Priestess. And maybe there wasn't that much development in this lifetime, and you just came here to watch and see and observe what's going on. Next up is the Beauty Way. This fits very well because I think you were observing the beautiful things you could see in your life. And it also fits with what we said earlier about you being really peaceful and well balanced, because I think that in occasions when you took action, you really managed to arbitrate suspense-packed situations, and your relaxing aura kind of refurbish the situations you were in. So again, you were someone who could keep their calm in a stressful setting and who could see the beauty in all things. Moreover, when I mentioned earlier that relationships with other people weren't your main goal in your life, I now also feel like it wasn't hurtful for you to let people go or have people come in and out of your life. It's more like you didn't feel the need to put your energy into something that wouldn't last anyway, because you were too different from them. But again, you didn't perceive this as something bad in your previous lifetime. You were content with it. And the last card is Earth Pulsing. Pulse of the Mother. Slow down. Time in nature. Okay, so you were very connected with nature, and it makes sense that this is where you would look at for your connection, because if you weren't looking for it in other people, the best next thing to look for it is in nature. And this is where you spend your energy on, because other things just didn't serve you in this lifetime. Why do I feel like you were probably living somewhere far away from civilization and nature, like probably even a scenario like this, and you were just taking in Earth and spending time with yourself and looking at everything. Yeah, so I think that this is what your lifetime was all about for you. Learning to appreciate your surroundings and observing them without having to be part of the drama that usually comes with being a human being. You probably still have that skill to connect yourself with nature, even now in your current lifetime. And I wouldn't be surprised if you are an introvert and you don't really get your energy from other people, but from spending time with yourself. Because what you experienced and learned in your previous lifetime is how to be with yourself. Okay, pile number 3, this is it for your pick a card reading about who you were in your previous lifetime. If you were in any way entertained or this reading resonated with you, let me know in the comments below. You can subscribe or like this video. If you want to see other readings from me, I'd really appreciate it. And then I will see you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 4. This is your pick a card reading about who you were in your previous lifetime. And we will get started right away. Let's have a look at the tarot cards. Okay. The 7 of Pentacles. Oh, okay, yeah, the Queen of Cups. And the 2 of Wands. Wow, okay. So you were one of those people. And what I mean by that is, right off the bat, I get the feeling that you had one of those rags to riches stories, you know? Like you were someone who got really successful through hard work. With the 7 of Pentacles, he is growing the fruits of his labor. And yeah, they're growing here on the bush. And then he is waiting till he can pick them up. And I think you were willing to put in that work and that time and the waiting until you could finally pick what you worked for. And you were willing to put all of that in order to gain your success, your money, your business. Yeah, these things. And then we have the Queen of Cups here. Which makes me think of the saying, money can't buy happiness. And while we all know that this is true to a certain extent, money can still solve a lot of problems. And I feel like you used your hard-earned money that you earned here in order to invest in yourself and achieve a level of emotional and spiritual happiness that we can see in the Queen of Cups. See how she's holding the Holy Grail in her hands, and you in that way became someone who had taken their life into their own hands. You really took the time and learned not only how to make money or how to be successful, but also how to heal yourself. And for the 2 of Wands, he doesn't have a Holy Grail in his hand, but he has the globe, the world in his hand. And he looks wealthy, standing on top of like the wall of his castle, and he's looking at the globe, ready to set out and unlock even more levels or even more countries or even more success. So you were probably someone who traveled a lot or moved countries, but you could basically go wherever you wanted because you were so wealthy. And this card in particular makes me think that you were traveling for business, and it also reminds me of the Middle Ages. So maybe you were a merchant in like the 15th century or something. That's the vibe I get. Someone who makes money through travel. Okay, let's have a look at the oracle cards that are up next. And the first one is, have faith in your dreams, the waxing crescent moon. Yeah, this card means that you were always working towards what you wanted. Just like I said about the Seven of Pentacles. And every step you made was a step on that way towards your goals. You took all the practical and spiritual steps to then achieve your goals in the end. So that's the way you pursued and realized, oh no, that's not the right word in English. You pursued and achieved your dreams in this lifetime. The next card is the owl. Okay, through this process you went through of working hard and working on yourself as well, you in this lifetime learned to see the essential things and the things that you could use for yourself. Basically, you developed really sharp eyes and ears, and in that way you perceived the positive things in your life and the promising things in your life, and that's how your success kept piling up. You were also probably someone who get many messages from the universe in this lifetime, and from your spirit guides or something like that. So you always know if you were on the right path and if something was going to work out for you, because you always would get messages, for example through birds, and they would tell you that it's the right thing to do. And when you asked a question, you would probably get an answer pretty fast in all kinds of form, and that was just another way that helped you with your success. The last card is the Messenger. Serious energy, bringing harmony and balance. Yeah, you were very balanced in a spiritual sense, and this is also how you managed to trust the universe in a way which would pay you back with your success, and you brought that harmony into the lives of other people as well. In this card particular, the serious energy, makes me think that bringing harmony and balance to earth is something you do in every lifetime of yours. So even now, this is probably something that you are doing. It fits with the healing energy of the Queen of Cups as well. So rather than saying that this previous lifetime is one in which you learned how to heal, I would say you in every lifetime find different ways to heal the balance and the harmony. And in this lifetime here in particular, you will learn to do it through material things and through money. Yeah, this is it for your reading about who you were in your previous lifetime, pile number 4. I hope I will see you in my next video. If you were in any way entertained or if this reading resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Subscribe and like if you want to see me again in another reading, and then we will see each other next time. Bye bye. Hello, pile number 5. This is your reading about who you were in your previous lifetime, and we will get right in with the tarot cards. Okay, we have the Ten of Swords, the Devil, and the Page of Swords in reverse. And you can probably also tell that this is a very troubled life we're looking at right now. We also have a lot of air energy here with the 2 sword cards. And the astrological correspondence for the Devil is actually Saturn, which is the ruling planet of Aquarius. So that could have been your zodiac sign. With the 10 of Swords, I feel like more that this was a lifetime in which you highly sabotaged yourself, and you were probably making things harder for yourself than they were in the first place. You were unable to accept your surroundings and the world, and so you put yourself in a victim position, and you put the blame for things. Oh my god. You put, what was I gonna say? You put the blame for things that happened to you solely onto others, and you put up this resistance against everything. So you were probably under a lot of stress. And yeah, you see how the 10 of cards, I almost see it as this over exaggeration, because like, who gets stabbed by 10 swords at the same time? It doesn't seem very realistic. It's more like the person saying, oh my god, I got stabbed so many times by 10 swords and I can't get up, I just can't, everything's so horrible, and I got, like, yeah, you know, kind of this over exaggerating energy and putting yourself into a victim position that's not very realistic. And yeah, this card goes hand in hand with the devil, and in this case it makes me think that because of your general attitude here, you attracted unhealthy and obsessive relationships that you can see like in the two lovers here that are on the devil card. You can see how they are wearing chains, but they are actually quite loose around their heads or around their necks. And again, this could speak for a decision you could have and should have made, but you didn't. You should have walked away from this person. You probably thought that wasn't a viable option, but it actually was. And due to your mentality of lack that you were always in, you couldn't make that decision. You weren't able to make this decision, and you were so convinced of your own helplessness that you couldn't let it go. Okay, the Page of Swords in reverse tells me that you were an overthinker and someone who had difficulties making decisions. I also feel like the person we mentioned here in the Devil card was not loyal to you in several ways. They probably didn't really love you, and I also feel like they cheated on you, maybe, like something like that is the vibe I'm getting from this card. For the Oracle cards, first we have You Are Good Enough, full moon in Virgo. This card is basically confirming what we saw here in the tarot cards. You were so critical of yourself, and you really lost all respect you had for yourself in this lifetime. You were constantly worrying and second-guessing yourself, but I also see potential in this card. So, I feel like an attempt was made from your side to reinstall the balance in your life. So, in the course of this lifetime, you probably became aware of these issues and somehow tried to solve them. Next up is the Andean cross. So the cross is kind of reminiscent of the cosmos. We have 4 directions, a top and a bottom, and then like in the middle the pathway. And I feel like you in this lifetime discovered an opening to the spiritual world and a way to shift your focus from the mundane world here to the bigger context of the cosmos out there. And the constant resistance you had built for yourself probably faded a bit later in your life, and you started to agree with life. But this was definitely a long process for you. This is not something that happened in your outer world yet, but something you had to shift in your inner world first, because you needed to change a lot within yourself. All of these things, especially this attitude, needed to be changed. And this makes me also think that you were alive in the southern hemisphere, where you can see the cross in the sky. And because it's like a sign of ancient civilizations. It makes me think that you were alive a really long time ago, like at least 1,000 years ago. And the last card is the Seas of Mintaka. Seeing potential, bringing unconscious to light. And this is something I do think you learned during this lifetime, which is that you have a choice and not to take the choice away from yourself. There's potential and close to every situation. So I think that this lifetime really was meant for you to work with your subconscious and to learn about the power of the subconscious and how to unravel it. And you're probably someone who in their current lifetime is very aware of the power of unconscious energies, and you instinctively know that they can affect you in a very bad way if you don't take care of yourself. That's probably something no one had to tell you, you just knew. Yeah. Okay, pile number 5, this is it for your reading about who you were in your previous lifetime. If you were in any way, shape or form entertained, or if this reading resonated with you, let me know in the comments below. Subscribe and like if you want to see other readings from me. I'd really appreciate it. And then I will see you next time. Bye bye.